Vi had become a character I loved to a character I hate. There is no reason why a character like Vi should abandon all her morals without any further development whatsoever. But of course, it's not her fault. I mean, how can it be a fictional character's fault for being the way they are without the people writing them? But after seeing her choices and her getting no consequences for it, it pisses me off. Vi pisses me off. But like I said, my feelings towards Vi was not always this way. And it's not because of Pow Wow Jinx like everyone wants to believe it, but because of her dog shit relationship that is Caitlyn and Kate Vi. I started watching Arcane after all the episodes of Season 1 have been released. I went on to become few of the Mel Madara lovers and many of the Jinx and Vi lovers. I especially rooted for Kate Vi, searching up ship art and eating edits of them like they were addictive slop, because they were my addictive slop, okay? But once I finished Arcane, I eventually had to move on to other media, like the Spider-Verse trilogy. And yeah, bro, it was just only the Spider-Verse trilogy. But then 2024 came about, and Arcane Season 2 was announced. Even though the series episodes released during the most stressful time of my life, which were exams, I'd rather be damned than to focus on my studies and not watch the show I've been waiting for years. Only to be met with fast pacing, poor writing compared to the last season, and fan fiction bullshit that did not serve the plot like the alternate universe time bomb episode. And yes, I know there are alternate universes in League of Legends, but Christ, man, you cannot look me in the eyes and tell me that wasn't fan service. But back on track, all these factors contributed to Vi's character turning unrecognizable. And yes, I knew Vi was going to be an enforcer one way or another, which left me with no choice but to accept the outcome. But I cannot stand there and stare at my screen and accept that the manner that she became an enforcer was good writing. But before I rant about how poorly Vi's character was handled, let's go to the beginning of Vi's character and understand why her character became garbage. Vi saw her parents get killed by enforcers after they protested against police brutality and the unfair oppression of Zon. She was then adopted by Vander, the one who led the revolts and fought hard until he had to stop fighting. He raised Vi and Powder to the best of his abilities, and he even strikes a deal with an enforcer named Grayson to protect them. And as Vi grows up, she becomes the de facto leader of the orphans and faces a hard lesson Vander drills in her head: put others first.
Sit down.
I'm fine.
Sit down. Those kids look up to you.
Yeah, I know.
You know, but you don't know. When people look up to you, you don't get to be selfish.
I'm
You
not-
say run, they run. You say swim, they dive in. You say light a fire, they show up with oil. But whatever happens, it's on you.
And she internalizes this. If it's not Powder she puts first, it's Caitlyn. If not Caitlyn, then it's someone else. We never ever see her put herself first. And while that is a good thing, Vi's selflessness, I also think this mentality messes her up and contributes to her low self-esteem.
Say it. You told me so. I was an idiot to trust her. I went behind your back. I choose wrong every time. And because of it, I lost everyone.
Though, even though she had low self-esteem, she had a little bit of self-respect. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that when that time comes. So fast forward, Powder blows up a building not knowing Vi and the others were inside, killing Vander and some other side characters that are important, but not really. And I'm gonna say this now. I know that I said it in the beginning, but I'm going to say this again. I don't hate Vi because of this moment. Because from her perspective, she saw her only family die again. And she was a kid too, having a very understandable reaction. And it's not like she willingly abandoned Powder. She was kidnapped by Grayson and put into a cold cell for 7 years. And speaking of that Vi, let's see how she's doing. It's been 7 long years since Vi has seen the light of day. She meets Caitlin, an enforcer that comes from a family of politics, with her mother being part of the council, the government to Piltover and Zahn. I'm going to gloss over Caitlin and Vi in this section because there is a section for each of them. But because of Caitlin, Vi gets out of jail and is able to travel back to Zahn. Vi and Caitlin have a mission to find somebody. Vi wants to find her sister, and Caitlin wants to find Jinx, the right hand to Silco, who Vi despises. Only to find out that her sister and Jinx are the same thing, and Jinx is working for Silco. Vi tries to bring her sister back, but it's too late. Powder is gone, and Jinx is the only thing that remains. And to really make Powder's death real, Jinx blows up the student council, killing 3 members and leaving the rest to live, which in my opinion is unnecessary, and they should have just killed the whole council off except the trio of Victor, Jason, Mel, because they are the only characters that are important. But nonetheless, Kate's mother is dead, and that kickstarts Caitlin's arc into modeling German politics and committing humanitarian and war crimes, which Vi also committed, but we're going to get to that! Another thing that happened in Season 1 is Vi showing Caitlin the actions of Piltover and the effect they had over Zahnites, making Caitlin more compassionate. Well, at least for Season 1 at least.
Hitler's daughter. Your actions reflect on the entire body.
My actions? You know what else reflects on the council? It's citizens living on the streets, being poisoned, having to choose between a kingpin who wants to exploit them and a government that doesn't give a shit.
And I understand why she changes it. You know what? Let's just go to Caitlin. It's already turning into a Caitlin section anyway. After Jinx kills Kate's mom, Caitlin's view on Zahn turns a complete 180, and now she's out here calling Zahnites animals with a hard A.
What kind of animals?
They wanted the spectacle. All right, they're trying to scare you.
And it's not like I don't understand. Her mother's memorial was attacked by Zahnites, but the more she progresses on this Jinx revenge journey, the more classist she becomes, which I'm not against, but she gets no consequences for it, and everything is solved through the power of friendship. And you know what? Script. I'm hating, I'm stuttering, I'm doing everything because I feel like I cannot write down my hatred on a piece of electronics. She's gonna get the full on me. Why in the does she get no consequences for bombing literal citizens? Okay, she didn't bomb them, but she technically bombed them. It's the same thing. Why didn't she get no consequences? Like, she literally committed war crimes, gave kids cancer, sicknesses, and she just gets away with it scot-free. The Zahnites aren't angry. I mean, they are angry, but they're angry for a music montage. A montage! We need more than that. And the reason why they come together is because of Mbessa. Mbessa's the problem, you guys. Mbessa's the one who put us all together, not Piltover's oppression over Zahnites. No, it was Mbessa all along. But if we can join together, we can do the power of friendship, because friendship is magic. This is not the show where friendship is magical. Okay? The logic is in friendship. I'm getting angry. I'm spitting in my screen. But you know the point. You get the point. She literally gets away with it scot-free. I'm not lying. I'm not literally lying to you. She gets away with it scot-free. Like, oh, she didn't even apologize. Did she apologize? Okay, yeah, she did apologize. But, like, I'm sorry, it's not gonna cut it. She didn't donate. She didn't do anything. She just gave up her seat, gave it to one Zahnite. And that's another thing we need to discuss. Why is there only Sevika in that chair full of Piltovians, or whatever they call them? Topsiders, they call them topsiders. Why is it only Sevika there? It makes no sense. You're telling me there is no Zahnite down there that wants to improve change? You're literally telling people out there, like down there, there was a whole revolt. And nobody steps up and says, hey, you know what? I want to help better Zahn. Why is it only Sevika? It makes no sense. And the thing is, it literally shows that nothing changes. Because Sevika's the only one. And maybe a few topsiders. But most topsiders have a vendetta against Zahn because they want to stay rich. So down there, Zahn will never change. Zahn will never change because everything must be done diplomatically. Like, everything must be done through votes. And we all know that topsiders aren't just gonna magically change after that war. Or maybe they will. Because like I said, through the power of friendship, because that's the show it is now. The power of friendship, because friendship is magic. My Little Pony. But that's not the point, that's not the point. And people always blame Maddie. I'm not just seeing Maddie on my screen. People always hate on Maddie, but not on Caitlyn and Vi for committing literally war crimes on the citizens because they're attractive and they're viewed as good through the eyes of the show. Why are they viewed as good? And then another thing, why did Ambessa City, I don't even care what it's called, something with an N and an X, I don't know, but why is it involved? It should not be involved in this war. It was supposed to be Piltover versus Zahn, okay? And I guess that, and I knew that Ambessa appeared in season 1, so of course she was gonna play a part, but why is she the big bad at the end of the day? She's not the big bad, you guys. She's one of the main points of the bad side, if you can even call that quotation bad side, but she's not the big bad. Caitlyn is. Piltover is. She literally, I'm not going to say this, she literally gas bombs Zahnites and she gets away with it scot-free. Scot-free! Like she gets nothing. She gets no consequences. Why? And the thing is, the reason why it's not a Caitlyn hate video, because I knew this was gonna happen. Okay? Once a classist, always a classist. This was going to happen. She was raised in a classist family. She was raised privileged, but I expected better from Vi. But we don't get that. We don't fucking get that. And let me get on this bitch. Let me get on this bitch right now. Right now.
You don't wanna hear you say no more.
Warning. This will include has-been hotel levels of swearing. One thing that I will give Caitlyn credit for. One thing that I will give Caitlyn credit for is that she literally apologizes for spraying the badge on Vi. Like, she doesn't force Vi to become an enforcer, which makes me hate her 10 times more because it's her choice to become a oppressor.
I was wrong to spring the badge on you. It's just, every way I slice it, if I go after your sister alone, one of us comes back in a box.
So I'm gonna need this to tell me why. Tell me why she went back to being an enforcer. The people who killed her parents, oppressed her people, literally put her in a cell for 7 years. Like, it's like she had a choice. She had a choice. Before you tell me, oh, she thought it was the only way she could catch Jinx. Don't give me that bullshit. Give me that bullshit. Because here's the thing. She has been working with enforcers. It's actually been in season 1 that she has been working with an enforcer and she didn't have to wear the badge. So why? Why couldn't she just have a development session and wear the badge at the end of the season? Why did she have to start wearing the badge at the start of season? Not season 1, but episode 1. It was episode 1 of season 2. Like, one episode, one day. Let's look at it from her timeline. It takes her one day to literally switch up on all her morals and all her views on enforcers. Why? Like, educate me. Tell me why. And that's why I said in the beginning that when she starts season 2, she literally has zero self-respect, because the old Vi wouldn't do that. I get that she turns into an enforcer. I said that in the beginning. I get that she's an enforcer in the game. But enforcers literally killed her parents. Enforcers are literally the reason for her suffering. It should not take her one day to switch up on all her morals. Because why? Why? Because she wants to do the right thing? She can do the right thing without wearing the badge. Because of Caitlyn? Because that's the only thing I can think of. Because of Caitlyn. Because like I said, she always puts others that she cares about first. And if that's the case, why is it viewed as a positive thing? Like, she abandoned all her morals and everything about herself because of Caitlyn. Why is that shit viewed as a healthy thing? Caitlyn literally kicked her out of her house. Of her house! And you know what? We're gonna talk about K-Vi. So let's leave that section. Let's leave that section for now. Let's leave it. Let's talk about Vi for now and talk about why I hate her. The reason why I hate her is because she gets no consequences for her actions. She gets none. Like this whole pit fighter arc. After Caitlyn literally kicks her in her guts and leaves her there to, wallow in her misery, she becomes a pit fighter and she starts this pit fighter arc with a montage, and again with the montages. But my question is, why is she allowed to go back to the Undercity and find refuge there? Because it's her home? She should have thought about it when she gassed it. Yeah, I see you, Vi. I see you. And along with that muscle guy, that drinking muscle guy, I don't care about his name. He's a side character. He has no backstory. He has no development. He's just there to be Vi's shoulder to cry on. That's all he literally is. He has no character outside of her. But back to my point. Why does Zahn forgive her easily? Like, they forgive her too easily. Why doesn't it show people hating on her, people slapping her, people trying to jump her? Like, why do they forgive her so easily? They even root for her in her pit fighter arc because she's a like, she gets no consequences. She gets no consequences for committing war crimes on her people. And another thing about her lack of self-respect is when she just gets on all fours and crawls back to Caitlyn. Okay, not literally, but you know what I mean. After Caitlyn literally, hits her in her stomach when she gets injured, she doesn't put up a fight. They don't fight. They don't banter. They don't do anything. She's like, I'm here to find my dad. Caitlyn finds her dad, and then boom, they're back together suddenly. Why? Why is there no progression? Why is there no arc? Why is it so easy? Why does she forgive so easy? And it's viewed as a positive thing. It's not explored any further. Why is it viewed as a positive thing? It should be viewed as a toxic thing. K-Vi is toxic as hell. And I'm tired of people trying to say that it's a good ship when it's not. It's not. I can deal with K-Vi being toxic, okay? I can deal with toxic Yuri. But my problem, my gripe, my bone, the audacity of this show to show K-Vi in a positive manner after all the things that Caitlyn has put Vi through, it's ridiculous. And Vi just forgiving her so easily? Like, where's her self-respect? I mean, I know she has low self-esteem. I established that in the show, but like I said, she had a little bit of self-respect. And this, we'll talk about it in the K-Vi section, which we're going to now. But another thing that I want to establish on why I hate her, and especially a majority of the part of why I hate her, is that people don't acknowledge her actions. Like, nobody. I have been trying to see TikTok videos, okay, YouTube videos, like every platform of people trying to call out like Vi's actions, because I thought that there could be someone, like I'm not the only one. But no, people only talk about how hot she is and about how she's gone through a lot, like, oh no, she's ooh cry girl, but she can rip me open every time. You guys, she gassed people. She gassed people. The majority of why I hate Vi is because you guessed it, Kate Vi. And no, wait, I have to pause this video. Behind me. Okay, now we can focus. And no, it's not because I'm homophobic or misogynistic like many K-Vi fans seem to say to Caitlyn haters. K-Vi haters. They always say that to every hater. Oh, you're misogynistic. Oh, you're homophobic. And yes, those are real pressing issues in female-dominated fandoms. There are going to be assholes who are just bigoted, but that's not the reason why most people hate them. Okay, that could be the reason why most people hate them, but that's not the reason why some, like I, hate them. I hate Vi because she committed war crimes and nobody's calling her out for it. I hate Caitlyn because of the same thing, and I hate K-Vi because it's toxic as Now let's go and assess the situation. Like I said in the beginning, Caitlyn meets Vi in a prison cell at the start of Act 2. With the help of Caitlyn, Vi is allowed to be released from prison, and together they go on a journey to find Silco. Caitlyn wants to find Silco because she wants to arrest him and his right hand Jinx, and Vi wants to find her sister because she is certain that Silco has her and she's the only family she's got. During this journey, Vi and Caitlyn share a connection. Caitlin is confronted about the truth in Zahn, and Vi comes to realize that not all enforcers are bad news. They also share a deeper understanding of each other, ultimately falling in love. Like I said, I used to love these two because they were the type of couple with undeniable chemistry. They sparked the best in each other and inspired change in each other. Their love for each other helps them realize each other's political climates, and they were hot, okay? I said it, they were hot. I fell for the propaganda, you fell for the propaganda, we all fell for the K-Vi propaganda. We were intrigued by their relationship because it was a classic poor ex-rich trope. It was a top-sider, bottom-sider. An enforcer with somebody who has trauma with the police. It was oil and water. And when season 1 ended, we wondered what was going to happen to the characters, not only as individuals, but as a relationship, because it was literally Vi's sister who killed Caitlin's mom. How are they going to react? How is their dynamic going to be like? Like, were they going to become closer? Were they going to fall apart because of their conflicting goals? Either way, I never ever once thought that the ship I loved so much would be completely ruined. But season 2 was released, and the proof was in the pudding. K-Vi became a mess. Season 2 starts with Caitlin and Vi fighting. Caitlin wants Vi to join the enforcers, and Vi obviously doesn't want to because, they killed her parents. But instead of understanding her perspective, Kanan is like, I thought you were better than them, but clearly I was wrong.
Bryce. They're sending all the enforcers after Jinx. I'm going with them.
Please, I have to help.
You can. As one of us.
Kate, I can't wear this.
People are calling for blood. The council won't stop them. You can show that not all of Zorn supports Jinx. We can show them. Together.
I watched them kill my parents. Do you have any idea how that feels?
Yes, I do. I thought you were on our side.
Damn. She really gives those, but she's one of the good ones vibes. Like, she's the type to say that Vi is one of the good ones. Anyways, after this whole deal happens and the memorial attack happens, Vi loses every inch of her self-respect and decides to become an enforcer in one day. I said one day. And I already said this in my Vi section, so I'm not going to crash out here. I'm going to crash out about the relationship and not them as individuals because I already did that, okay? I already did that. So now we're going to get to this. Anyways, after Vi just transforms into the dark side and Caitlin becomes this grand general region type person, they share a kiss in some, sewer something. And it's really, really sweet. It starts to become really, really sweet. But at the same time, I didn't feel fulfilled because my hatred for Vi began because she became an enforcer, somebody who killed her parents in one day. But I already established that. So after this whole kiss and them confronting Jinx, Caitlin and Vi start fighting because Caitlin was almost about to shoot a kid. And Caitlin was like, oh, but it's her blood running through your veins. I keep telling myself that you're different, but you're not. Like, girl, are you serious? Are you genuinely serious right now? But it's okay. I can, defend her for this because, she's in mourning. And she's not thinking straight. She's just thinking purely on her emotions. But here is when she literally leaves Vi for dirt.
I keep telling myself that you're different, but you're not. It's her blood in your veins.
Then why are you the one acting like her?
And like I said, I understand. She's going through mourning, she's going through a lot. But after Act 2, when Vi gets into her pilt, Thank you for this user actually putting this out. Like, I wouldn't have remembered it if it wasn't for this user. But after, like, Caitlyn kicks Vi to the curb, she sleeps with her subordinate, which is Maddie, who you all hate. Why? I don't know. Because at the end of the day, it's Caitlyn in power. It's Caitlyn who has the ability to call off this relationship. It's Caitlyn who has the ability to, squash down Maddie's crush on her, but she doesn't. Instead, she sleeps with her. Why? And nobody ever talks about this. Nobody ever talks about this affair. Like, immediately after, maybe not immediately after, but after she kicks Vi to the curb, she literally sleeps with, like, her intern, basically. Like, isn't Maddie practically her intern? And the worst thing after this, she never gives Maddie the time of day. Like, and she doesn't even regret it. She doesn't regret it. Look at that grimace. Look at that grimace. And it also opens up a whole new can of worms because it's always Caitlyn in control of her relationships. It's always a power imbalance where Caitlyn has the most control. And it's just crazy to me because they're not... Vi and Caitlyn, and even Caitlyn and Maddie, they're never ever on the same level. They're never on par with each other. It's always Caitlyn on top in the end because Caitlyn has more money. She has more connections. She's usually a daughter of a politician. Like, she's just more powerful than any one of them. And it literally shows because when Vi and Caitlyn were fighting about the badge, okay, Vi gets out of the house. And before she enters Suzanne, let's be honest with ourselves, before she enters Suzanne, she has nowhere to go. She is literally living off of the streets, drinking alcohol. She is destructing herself. And that's another thing. Vi is not only financially, dependent on Caitlyn, she is also dependent on, emotionally dependent on Caitlyn. And she's emotionally dependent on people around her. We actually need to talk about this. Yes, she puts other people first, but she's also dependent on that people too. And it's kind of unhealthy. That's why I said when Vander said that, it kind of fucked up her self-esteem because she never ever puts herself first. She always depends on other people and puts other people first. Her whole character revolves on other people. Like, if it's not her parents, it's Jinx. If it's not Jinx, it's Caitlyn. If it's not Caitlyn, it's Vander. Like, she is the most wherever you go, I go character. And yeah, that is a good thing. Like I said, Vi caring and being selfless is a good personality trait. But it's done excessively to the point that it becomes toxic. And she just loses all form of self-respect. Like, where's her self-respect? Let's say you have a husband named Bob. Bob wants you to do something that is really insensitive because it was really traumatizing for you. And he knows it was traumatizing for you, but simply doesn't care and is too blinded by grief because his mom dies. He says something insensitive like, I thought you were better than them, aka you're home because you come from the slums that his people are responsible for. So you say, you know what? Fuck you! I can do better. Except Bob knows you can't do better, and you know you can't do better. So you live on the streets, get picked up by a musty guy, and enter an arc where you just hallucinate about Bob and just lose your shit over him. You drink, you pick fights, you're the worst version of yourself. But Bob is too busy opening his secretary's legs like a can of beans and doesn't even give his secretary the time of day. And this is the excuse people use to justify Bob's activities, but we move on. Anyways, you come crawling back after he rescues your dad and not even getting angry or passive aggressive or anything towards Bob before he rescues your dad, not even reminding him of the moment you fight because, like I said, you know you can't do better because you are emotionally and financially dependent on him. Anyways, there's this huge attack. Your sister's adopted daughter dies, which I'm going to say now. I do not give a flying I do not give a flying butt cheek about Isha's death. Because what is there to give a She made Jinx not want to kill herself? So? That's all she does. She is a plot device there to make Jinx happy, then make Jinx so that's all she's for. Like, she's nothing. She's nothing without Jinx. But We go back to the scenario. Your sister's adopted daughter dies. She is destroyed, but you're both knocked unconscious, and while you sleep in a luxurious bed, your sister sleeps in a cell, the same cell you were locked in for 7 years because of his people. I mean, your sister does deserve to be in a cell because, she did bomb people. I'm not going to be like those mindless Jinx lovers. Jinx did bomb people, and Jinx did, help serve Silco, destroy Zahn, and Jinx did do bad things. But at least Jinx had a little bit of self-respect. But we move on. Like I said, you think that it's too harsh for your sister to be in a cell because, she saved your ass and her daughter is a bunch of ashes. I should be a poet. But anyways, you fight with Bob. He says a bunch of words I don't understand because English is not my first language, but it all points out to, bro, your sister killed my mom. So you go to break her out, and she puts you in a cell so that you don't follow her and stop her attempt to kill herself. Yikes. And then Bob finds you in a cell. And Bob... Caitlin! Now, I know that Vi doesn't know that her sister was going to kill herself, but riddle me this. She has been literally punching on the wall, self-harming. Like, you literally see it on the punch marks. She's been punching the wall, and she's, like, really wallowing in her misery. And you think, instead of comforting her, let me just have that is not how relationships work. Your partner's solution to your pain should not be your partner's solution should be listening to you and comforting you. How I would write this scene? I would make Caitlin listen to her like that and say, well, you couldn't have known, or don't blame yourself, and have Caitlin kissing the knuckles when they are obviously bruised and saying a simple, I'm sorry for everything. And like make Caitlin remorseful for her actions instead of you're predictable, let's kiss. Like what the And don't give me that Vi doesn't care bullshit. You guys, like I established, Vi has no self-respect. She has low self-esteem. She depends on others. Of course she wouldn't care. So that's why it's important to make Caitlin care. Make Caitlin more sympathetic. Make Caitlin more likable. But they don't do that. They just add a fan service because what purpose does that serve? So anyway, Vi and Caitlin are having this little talk, and it's revealed that Vi lives in Caitlin's house and all that sweet jazz. But I have to say this. What will happen when they have a fight as bad as the last one? What will happen to Vi? Because we all know, like, what happens when they fight. Vi goes self-destructive. She drinks. She picks fights. And Caitlin is probably going to open another secretary's legs. Because that's the person she is. That's the people they are. Vi is dependent, and Caitlin has been surrounded with power all her life. That it's just not going to work. I don't see this working. I can't see this working anymore. The only way I think that this could work is by Caitlin, redefining the enforcers with her politician seats, making sure there's more Zahnites in seats, being shown compassionate to Zahnites. But like I said, Caitlin doesn't even apologize for bombing the citizens! She doesn't do anything! So I don't see how K-Vi is going to work in universe and out universe. I don't see how this ship can work anymore because it's just toxic. It's just toxic for me. I'm sorry. I just can't enjoy it anymore. There is one scene that summarizes the entirety of Vi's character development, of her becoming the woman I love to the woman I hate.
You're stronger than you think. And one day, this city's gonna respect us. I am the dirt under your nails, Cupcake. Nothing's gonna clean me out.
Vi's fall of self-respect needs to be studied. I don't even know what to say anymore. It's just so sad that a character that had so much potential just became this. And I guess I don't know. I just want her to grow as a person. I wanted her to be better than she is now, because that's what people are supposed to be. They're supposed to grow, they're supposed to change, but Vi never changes. She does change. She changes for the worse. And it's not even her fault. It's not even progressed naturally. It's because of the writers and this fast pacing, and which the episode format needs to stop. It genuinely needs to stop. Many shows have butchered their developments all because of this format. Let's just look at The Boys, for example. The Boys were a stunning show. It was just like Arcane. It was a masterpiece. But once its finale came about, it became... Okay, it wasn't garbage, but it was mid because of the 8-episode format. There were so many things that The Boys needed to wrap up in a box, like Gen V or Gen Z. I think it was called Gen V. Gen V. They had to wrap up the Gen V characters and many more plot points, but they didn't have time for that because of the 8-episode format. And that's the thing. I think a lot of shows are falling flat because of the 8-episode format, and it needs to stop. But anyways, this is the end of my video. I hope you guys enjoyed, because this is my first video. Please give me some criticisms, because I do hope to improve. And yeah, that's it. Bye. I have more to say. It's not over. Okay, so I'm here to promote my TikTok accounts. So my main account is this one, but I can't post on that account because I have to verify my phone number and I have to delete my old account. It's just this whole fiasco. So while I'm dealing with that, I'm posting on this account. And if you want to see my OCs and more of my life, you can just click on these accounts and follow me because I need more followers. I need external validation. But if you do follow me, thank you, and here's a cookie. Okay, bye now.